offensive missions and change the use of these bases. If they did that, there will be an almighty row between the UK and the US over that force posture.
Duncan, thank you so much. France will send 2 additional warships to the region as part of a European Union naval mission in the Red Sea. The announcement was made by President Emmanuel Macron as he visited Cyprus, where a British military base was targeted by an Iranian-made drone last week. He said the EU was setting up a purely defensive escort mission. Speaking after meeting with the Cypriot president and the Greek prime minister, President Macron also said the attack on the military base in Cyprus is an attack on all of Europe. Our correspondent Jessica Parker is in Paphos, and she told me what the atmosphere is like amongst the locals there.
It really does depend who you ask. So, I mean, some people who live near the base, it's worth saying the British sovereign bases, they're not just the sort of fenced-off areas that people can't go into, although we did go into RAF Akrotiri briefly last week. They also include local villages, farmland, where Cypriots live, and some of those people were instructed to leave their homes, and schools have been closed following what happened on the base and following that drone strike. UK military intelligence's best assessment, I understand, is that the drone was launched in Lebanon, possibly by the Iranian-backed proxy group Hezbollah. So that's their sort of assessment of where that drone might have come from. But I think for Cypriots, it's shone a light again on a long-standing point of contention here about the presence of British bases, which are a legacy of colonialism. The Cyprus gained its independence back in 1960, but as a part of that independence, the UK retained 2 major sovereign bases, one of them Akrotiri. And for some people in Cyprus, I was at a protest over the weekend, 250, 300 people, so not lots of people, but very vocal, who were calling for the British bases to go and to not be here anymore. The reality is that's a pretty complicated thing to make happen. There were various parties involved in those original treaties that are sort of the foundation of their presence here, but it certainly has shone a light on what, as I say, is an ongoing point of contention and discomfort for some Cypriots, although others may talk about, are the British bases a way that the island is protected? But obviously now a drone actually got through, a small drone, we've been told, but got through and did hit that aircraft hangar. That has led to questions about the UK's ability to defend the area, although, as I say, the British government say they have bolstered air defences.
Jessica Parker there. Well, the BBC's Persian language service has been interviewing people who are on the Iran-Turkey border about how they've been affected by the conflict. And this includes Ramazan, who is a minibus driver who makes a living from transporting people between Iran and Turkey. Listen.
Normally at this time there are many passengers and we earn good money. Because of this war, right now we can't go from here to Iran. There's no internet there either, and passengers aren't travelling back and forth like before.
Our home is in Tehran, but honestly, haven't heard from almost anyone. We said we'll just get on the road and see if we could find the car and make it back, or at least try to reach somewhere. We were stuck in Sao Paulo for about 5 or 6 days because there were no flights. Now we're just trying to return.
I came to Turkey to see if there's any work here, maybe stay and work here. If not, maybe go somewhere else. But in Iran, it's really hard to make progress anymore. The economy is in a state where you can't move forward. You can't really build something or grow a business.
Just a sense of some of the attitudes there from our correspondents who are on the border. We have a breaking news line to bring you from President Trump, who has just said that Australia is making a terrible humanitarian mistake by allowing Iran's national women's football team to be sent back to Iran. And he called on Australia's Prime Minister to give asylum to the team members. More on this coming up. Don't go away.
Well, let's speak to Mehran Kamraba, who's Professor of Government at Georgetown University here in Qatar and Director of the Iranian Studies Unit at the Arab Centre for Research and Policy Studies. Thank you for joining us here on BBC News. Tell us a little more about what we know about this man. In many ways, a mystery, but a man clearly who has some power.
Exactly. He's a very